It's the Dadnarok After Show. Now, here's Chris and Sean.
Welcome back. Good evening. This is the Dadnarok After Show. This is Sean.
And this is Chris.
And tonight, we are talking about the Star Wars Acolyte, that show. We covered the first 2 episodes, and then we were like, we'll come back to it.
Yeah, we figured we'll do a recap. House of Dragon came out. We're like, you know what? That's where we want to go ahead and put all our eggs in that basket and enjoy that one there.
Yeah, and we are enjoying it.
Very much so.
If you're watching House of the Dragon and you'd like to join us every
Tuesday night, typically
Monday, Tuesday, around there, earlier part of the week, we talk about House of the Dragon season 2. But right now, we're talking about a very, very divisive show. Some may call it woke. Some may call it good.
Some may call it just being there.
Some may call it like, it's okay.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
That's kind of where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay, let's drop into this. Overall, season's done. Start to finish, what did you think?
Okay. I thought going in, and I thought that the trailer and the concept and the time they spent talking about the era of Star Wars that we would be in, there's a lot of talk about what this show is going to be like, and none of it really came to fruition because I thought it would have a bigger story. But the story is very kind of finite, and it's closed, and people were worried. We're like, how's the Jedi going to react? How's the Jedi Council? It goes against canon, blah, blah, blah. Well, they counteracted that by keeping the story so secretive and small. Mm-hmm. That it almost feels like it doesn't really have a ton of repercussions, which that kind of stinks. And I didn't really care for the characters. They were okay, but we didn't get a ton of episodes that gave us a lot of scenes that would kind of be like, oh, well, that's my character, or I identify with that, or I can relate to that. Half of the characters died. They were just kind of cannon fodder. We didn't realize it, but they spent a lot of time on some characters in those first 2 or 3 episodes just to slice and dice them.
Yeah, Jackie, that character there, a lot of people were loving her. There was cosplays coming out of her, and then she gone like the wind.
That's the negative. The positive, I think there was a lot of stuff that was done right. I think the era was cool. The effects were, of course, great. There were like the space chase scenes that chase through the asteroid belt in either the last. I mean, that was visually just stunning.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fight scenes. I mean, basically the fight scenes range from like a 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. Like they were all pretty strong.
Oh yeah.
So that I'm not complaining about whatsoever. But yeah, that's kind of my general feeling. Story was a little but all in all, it did some things pretty well.
I would say mine was I went into this show and kind of like you, I'm thinking the Acolyte. We're getting dark side material here. We're not going to get Jedi stuff. And the story was more about the Jedi than it was about the Acolyte. And I think truly this show is a product of what our television is now. Yeah. 8 episodes at 30 to 40 minutes each isn't enough to flush us out, because this was clearly a setup season. They're doing it. Even if you didn't like the show, and many people out there love saying they don't like the show, they're clearly doing a second season. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that a second season's coming based on what they've done.
Well, it's probably going to be even more woke than the first season, and I'm going to hate watch it. Well, I'm going to watch it and complain about every single stinking
second of it. So, but getting into it, I feel like they set fans up like myself. When they brought in Mother Anastasia, they named her the Mother, and I know stuff from the High Republic era who another character's named the Mother. So I was thinking they were pulling in that stuff. They were going to pull in the Nile in a way, because if they brought in the Mother, they were going to have to bring in the Nile because they're connected. Yeah, and they may have avoided that for that reason. I mean, it can be very well. They wanted to keep, like you said, the story's small, the Jedi covering up. I mean, that's what we found out at the very end. Vernestra Rowe basically covered the whole thing up right in front of the Chancellor.
Yeah, cover up.
And I mean, that's pretty much how it went down. The good things, like you said, I mean, the lightsaber battles were spot on. Every single one of them were a fantastic, choreographed fight.
Yeah.
I read something at the end where they wanted the final fight between Soul and the Stranger to actually go ahead and rival the uh
Obi-Wan Anakin?
Maul and all that.
Qui-Gon?
Yes, what's the name of it? The shit.
Phantom Menace?
Yes, the Phantom, but the name of the fight, dipshit.
Battle for Naboo?
What? Yeah, they
Oh,
wanted.
well, okay. Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, thank you. Duel of the Fates. You really bring me on that. I would say the fight was at that level. The issue was the music for Duel of the Fates is what really pushes that one forward, and who is who's doing it all.
Shut up! Don't even talk. Man, I want to watch that right now.
But
let's put it on real quick so we can see that door open up. Korra,
yeah,
Ratama.
But yeah, that was really my only thing. I mean, I enjoyed looking back on it. I think I enjoyed it more than I disliked it. But they set me up so much, and I got different things out of it.
Yeah. It's the Disney Plus shows are just kind of all over the place. You know what I mean? To go from Ahsoka to this one, it's a bit jarring because like Ahsoka, it's this set of characters, and then it's like it was we're gonna throw all these kind of new ideas at you, expand your idea of what the Force is, and like, oh, there's another galaxy out there. Holy crap! Like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Then we scale it back, and we're like, okay, well, this is a story way back when that's kind of small, and nobody you really know is in it, and that is what that was cool on paper, but I think it was cooler when it was more about the Sith and the Dark Jedi and exploration of that and their heritage, their history, where they're at currently in this time period, what leads up to the Emperor Palpatine that we know. How did he get to be where he is?
And I think they're really leaning that way. Definitely the way the finale went. The finale is leaning definitely with us seeing Plagueis.
Yoda?
Like, oh, you Yoda. No, I was sitting back and I was like, I was vindicated. I was saying the whole time that little green bastard was going to be in this show. I knew
little green bastard.
I didn't know how. I figured it was going to be either a hologram or a quick shot of him. And sure enough, it was a quick shot of just from him behind, sitting there in whatever room he was, meditating when Vanessa Rowe came in, basically let him know what was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
well, let's talk about this specifically because you had an idea of what this was going in with a lot of your pre-knowledge of the era, the High Republic. Did it just like totally throw you off what you thought it was going to be around that? Like, how did it meet your High Republic standards?
Didn't touch them.
No,
didn't touch them at all. This story was you don't have to know a thing about the High Republic at all.
Were you surprised or let down because of that?
Let down. Let down. Because like I said, I had a mindset like, we're going to get the mother. That is an amazing storyline that goes way back before this time even takes place. So if they're doing a flashback, they're going to be bringing other aspects into it. We didn't see any of that. Yeah, it let me down because I wanted more of that High Republic stuff, but I understand why they didn't do it to them. Because there's so many people out there that have zero knowledge of the High Republic stuff. So they're more risking letting me down and then giving everyone something fresh.
Yeah. They let you down, all right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that. But I can see at the very beginning of this, I think me and you were discussing it. I was like, are we going to see, the rise of Palpatine through this? Are we going to see Plagueis? Are we going to see that? And I feel like with the way it ended, they're foreshadowing forward. I think that's kind of what I think they're I hope they're not leading us on, or I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like that's kind of where it's going.
Marie Mendez. Hi, Marie Mendez.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Yes. What did you think of the Acolyte? What were your thoughts?
Tell us. What were your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was like, it's okay? Let us know. And thanks for joining us. We are live and there's no paywall. We welcome comments and conversation. So please join in with any of your comments anytime. I would love that if we explore. Honestly, I don't have a ton of faith that we will see more of the Acolyte. I think it was popular enough to probably warrant a second season, but I feel like we're probably in a state of kind of. I don't know if Lucasfilm knows where it's at right now. It doesn't feel like they have a really concrete plan about what they're doing, besides maybe what's on the horizon with like the Mandalorian universe movie that they think they're gonna do.
Yeah, they keep on saying they're doing. We don't know if it's going to happen or not.
But historically, the last few years, they've liked to announce stuff and then pull it back, announce stuff, pull it back. I'm not really convinced we're gonna. And they keep saying, well, when Obi-Wan season 2 ended, they said they were gonna make another Obi-Wan season. I haven't seen any movement on that. I don't know if you have.
No.
But I think Star Wars as a whole, they've got what they have a show in the can that's ready, I think, where it was the one with Jude Law. Skeleton Crew. But beyond that, do we even know or have seen any trailers, any shots, any nothing as far as
we've
what's
seen
coming
some
after
shots and things from it, but yeah, no, they've been keeping that pretty tight to the vest. I think I heard something about the Andor show. I'm not sure exactly how far, if that's done shooting or what, the situation
right.
with that.
Yeah.
People love that, but I feel you can take Star Wars off the Andor poster and you can convince people it's not a Star Wars show. That's my biggest thing with that. Now, it's a great show, but you can take the Star Wars logo off it and you can say it's just a show, it's a sci-fi show, and you would still enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what was very Star Wars specific. I mean, maybe blasters and some sound effects.
They were building the panels for the Death Star.
Yeah.
When they were in prison, they were building the panels to the Death Star. That's essentially it. I mean, you had Star Wars, you had Stormtroopers, and you had you have all that going on, but you can change their uniforms, and it's just a sci-fi show.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so and maybe it's me because maybe I'm just out of the loop as far as showbiz news and stuff, but I feel like it's been real quiet on the Disney/Disney Plus.
They need to
Star
hold
Wars
their
front.
chips to their vest a little bit more because they, like you said, they've been too haphazardly throwing them out there. This one here, I feel like since they did it, and it is High Republic era, and they are continuing to put out High Republic era books, novels, comics, they're all in on this time frame, and I feel like this falls into that wheelhouse. That's why I'm pretty certain that they're going to go ahead and do a season 2 of this, because they introduced a few things in this. They introduced the bleeding of the crystal. They introduced space. We don't know if it's Master Apprentice. We don't know what that is. We've seen Darth Plagueis. Is he just hanging out in the back? I don't think you can introduce a character like Darth Plagueis in a 5-second clip and then do nothing more with it.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I almost wish this feels like a half measure almost, where they wanted to do a show in the High Republic era because it was new, different era, outside of the Skywalker saga. But it's well, let's make it close enough to where we can kind of lead up to the Phantom Menace. You know what I mean? Instead of going way back, because there's tons of crazy stuff with
so much Starlight Beacon, disaster,
and that enemy. If you would have seen, what's the enemy name in the
Nile?
Yeah, the Nile and those space pirate guys. To see them on screen would have been introduce brand new, brand new
the
stuff.
Drangear. To see that, that would be cool to see on screen.
Or a season leading up to the hyperspace disaster, where maybe that's a season-ending cliffhanger kind of thing, and it's just what that looks like on screen as opposed to just in the panels of a comic book.
Yeah,
that would be if you're gonna go there, go there and just put all your chips in and give us a long form show where we could get used to certain characters, and you know what I mean. It's just I want to feel invested where it's okay, almost like an announcement. Here's a plan. We're doing at least 3 seasons of this show.
Yes.
Here's a time period. We have an arc in mind already.
Well, that's
and
what they did with Ted Lasso. We knew what we were getting. We knew exactly we were getting a beginning, middle, and end. And if this was the beginning, we would know the middle would be with Osha being trained by the stranger into whatever she's going to become. And then we would have to see the fall of them and the rise of Plagueis and Plagueis finding a young Palpatine. And we don't have to see nothing beyond that. We can just see him find a young Palpatine and they can cut to black.
And it's tough. We had a comment on one of our recent shorts where they wished it was just went beyond the 8 episodes and it was more like a 20-episode show to really get invested. And I totally agree with them. And I think that's not exactly a fault of the Acolyte in particular. I think that's just where we're at with
product of TV
production
right
and like in scripts and streaming.
You know what? I hold Lucasfilm and Disney accountable to that because they are working with the volume a lot of the times. They're not. I'm going to use House of the Dragon, for instance. All those sites they're using, they're either at location in Scotland and in Wales, they're building locations, or they're in the streets of like Italy. These are all locational shots, which is going to take a long time for post-production and for everything else. If you're doing it in front of a big screen, this shouldn't take 2 years to come out, or it also shouldn't take much more time to give us 10 episodes and then to have a turnaround time of 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, what it shows is that they're just like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, basically. They're like, even with The Mandalorian, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's a reason. I feel like they just need to focus on one thing at a time. Like, if you're going to make The Mandalorian, give us 5 or 6 seasons of The Mandalorian and have them come out consistently year to year to year. Not it's like, okay, when's the next season going to be? Oh, it's going to be 2 years from now. It's like, it's just we're invested and then we dip out because who knows when the hell it's coming back, if it's coming back. Because a lot of these shows, I mean, like Netflix and all these streaming services, you can get really invested in a season 1 of something and then it's just gone.
You'll never see it again. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard because I'm a little jaded when it comes to being a TV viewer these days, where I can like something, and it really, unless it's a phenomenal hit where it just gets praise all over the place and you hear about it all over the place, it's kind of scarce whether or not it'll come back for season 2 or not. Like, and it's hard to be invested when like you're like, well, maybe I'll see it again.
Maybe it's going to come back. Maybe that was one thing you knew with traditional television. When it made it to a pilot season, you got it. You're most likely going to get a season 2. And if you got a 2, it's going to run for a while.
Right. Yeah.
And then it may just fade away. Or usually the telltale signs of traditional television for it not doing well is if it was a Monday night show and they changed it to Wednesday, or they changed it to a Thursday night. When they change it to a different slot at a later time, that's when you better start releasing some of your for the show because it's going away.
Yeah, exactly. Little indicators where they only order a half season, that kind of thing.
Or it turns into a half season summer run. And then you're like, okay, it's no longer going to be with us.
Who we got here? We've got Mobarum on.
I agree. It's the,
I agree. Whatever this is. Wait, 4 times?
4
1,
times.
2, 3, 4.
There.
I totally agree. Right on.
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted to like this show going into it. I told you episode 7 was painful to watch. It really, I watched it on the way through it. It was a painful episode. Episode 8 was by far the best episode they put forward on the whole season. And anytime the stranger was on the screen, he stole the show.
He was good.
It was phenomenal. Even looking back when he was just kind of the guy in the shop giving May the poison.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? He did a great job of selling us who he was.
Yeah, his 2 sides of him, you could almost believe that an actor can play both Clark Kent and Superman. You know what I mean? Like, some people are that good where they can be believable one way and then believable the totally opposite way. Dude, and when he took off the cloak and just
he was
guns out,
and that lightsaber that he actually had, he was able to connect and disconnect in those 2.
He had some tricky lightsabers.
That was cool how he threw them and they were going to come back like boomerangs. So many cool things they were doing with them. The thought deprivation thing, the helmet he puts on that keeps Jedi from getting in his head.
Yeah, that
was cool. His armor that shut off the blades, also really, really cool. So
Mobaramon agrees. Yeah, Yeah, green
His
light.
character was awesome. We just didn't get enough of him.
The helmet was cool too.
Yeah.
The helmet and the introduction of the new element, the new metal that the helmet is made out of, which I think is the same maybe that's on his braces that shorted out the lightsabers, where kind of like stunned them, where they didn't work for a minute.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen it, but the name of it I can't come off from the top of my
can't
tongue.
remember either,
But it's something that has been referenced in the past.
It's something that's new and cool and we haven't seen before, and
yeah,
we're always kind of clamoring for that kind of stuff in Star Wars. Like,
but when we get it,
neat.
everyone wants to go back to Skywalker
That's never
saga.
been in Star Wars before. That's not how the Force works.
Oh, dude, just the number. Like, I love. Like, if you guys haven't seen it, go check out our show. I watched the bleeding of the lightsaber.
Yeah,
and the amount of comments within that saying, "No, this is how it's done. It's breaking canon." I'm like, hold on, what canon are you referring to? Because nothing within Disney says how it's done. Everything was EU, which is all legends, which isn't canon.
Yeah,
and George Lucas himself came out and said, anything happened in the books, I don't consider canon. So he could have done something different.
Didn't he also come out and say that this show was woke trash, and he was so glad he got his $4 billion so Disney could ruin his child or something?
I have no idea.
No, I just made that up. I was
going to say, I'm going to put that clip out there now.
Starting rumors here on the Acolyte after
that's
show.
Hilarious. But yeah, this is weird arguments, or like people are how they're saying, like, the sequel, not sequel, the prequel trilogy was so much better. I went back at the guys like, you're looking at them with rose-colored glasses. I mean, there was
people hated them when they came out.
Hated so badly, from bullying Ahmad Best with Jar Jar to trashing.
They hated Hayden Christensen. They hated Jake Lloyd. They thought they were boring.
Now looking back on it, and they're saying, "Oh, they were great." No, and plus
they're great because you grew up on them now. Yeah,
I look back on them fondly now because I watched them through my son's eyes.
Yeah,
and I enjoy them now. And they were the first ones I really got into. You were the original trilogy. I was a prequel trilogy.
Right.
But then I'm like, you know what? You say Disney has ruined Star Wars. George made the prequel trilogy.
Yeah,
that was the trilogy that got him out of it. I think if they weren't bashed as hard as they were,
I know. He only sold the damn
thing
because the prequels were so hated. He was like, fine, whatever. Give me my money, and I'm not going to do another Star Wars ever.
He's going to bounce, and then he's going to let Disney take over, which, I mean, neither here nor there, but we're getting a lot of content.
They've released so much. Some of it's going to be great, and some of it's going to be not great. I mean, Mandalorian, at least seasons 1 and 2, pretty universally loved. Yes. I mean, hello, Grogu, Baby Yoda, like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
You got to give Disney their due when they hit something right.
That's Disney Star Wars. That's not George Lucas.
Yeah.
And I mean, some others, Andor, nothing but critical praise, just praise, critical praise. Love it. And that's Disney Star Wars, dude. But some of it's going to be a hit, some of it's going to be a miss. And the thing about Star Wars is that you can swing for the fences in any direction. You know what I mean? It could be about bounty hunters. It could be about the dark levels of the cities of Coruscant. It could be about some backwoods planet. It could be about Jedi in any era, any time period. It could be about smugglers. It could be about, you can tell so many different stories. It could be a Western. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because you can swing for the fences in so many directions, there's going to be things that you just don't jive with. You're like, well, that's not really my Star Wars, because you like a certain aspect of Star Wars. And if these new shows focus on a different aspect, it's not really your cup of tea, and that's okay.
I think people have forgotten how to turn it off and not watch.
Yeah,
people have forgotten how to change the channel and just not watch a show they don't want to watch,
or just be like, yeah, this show's not really for me. I gave it a shot, and it's just not really gelling with me. And then you move on with your life.
Yeah,
but instead we got a ton of people going, this show sucks, and Star Wars is
watch
dead.
it. And then they'll go online to find any content that's out there and then do their best to bash on, even if people are enjoying it. They don't let people enjoy something if they don't enjoy. And
I loved Ahsoka, but you know why I loved
Mm.
Ahsoka? Because it was basically a season 5 of Rebels, and I love
Yeah.
Rebels.
Yeah.
So I was all in, but there was a ton of stuff in Ahsoka where people were just like, "What is this? What am I watching? This is so weird and different," and it didn't work for them. And I
Yeah.
get it. That's okay.
And once again, Ahsoka led more into people like myself who
Mhm.
love Clone Wars, who love Thrawn, who love all
Right.
this other stuff that have these other avenues of knowledge that is not just based on either the cartoons or TV shows or movies.
Yeah.
And it's a fine line they're walking because they are putting out a lot of great content in comic and book form,
Oh yeah.
but it's not they're not either trying to translate it yet, or this one aspect of them trying to translate it just didn't go well. And I hope it doesn't scare them away because I know they're going way forward with Rey and this next trilogy. Well, maybe, who knows? The idea is they're doing this next one of them, her basically rebuilding the Jedi Order in a different aspect, how whatever aspect that means, or how, but we'll see that
Yeah.
hopefully in the future. But
I think the Acolyte in particular, one of the, I just said how you can swing through the fences in any direction. You can have a kids show like Jedi Battle or whatever, that like cartoon that was on like Disney Kids
yeah,
or
I think it's
whatever.
the only one I haven't watched.
Yeah, but it's like you can do that and that fits because you could do anything with Star Wars. You can have that and that's actually canon because it deals with Jedi kids and
Mhm.
stuff, and it's kind of, it's like Muppet Babies or whatever.
Yeah, that's a funny
Or
comparison.
you could go the total opposite way, which I thought they were gonna do with the show, especially with the friggin' promotional material and stuff,
Mhm.
where it was gonna get dark. We were gonna see some, like,
Some
maybe not
gritty.
gore, because at the end of the day, it's like Disney Plus, but, like, just story-wise, character-wise, motivational-wise, we're gonna get dark. We're gonna see some dark stuff, and really, I had an emotional pop when I saw, Plagueis, and emotional pop when I started to really like the stranger character,
Mhm.
but beyond that, just definitely was not as dark as it could have been.
This should
Could
have
have been
been a
way darker.
mid-season finale to a 16 episode season.
Yeah,
That's
that would
what
be
this
cool.
should have been. It could have come
With the
back in a
promise of
month
more
from now.
episodes to come, yeah, month or 2.
8 more episodes to come. I'll give it as a month off. Come back and see us, and we're going to continue off at this point. That's what that should have been.
Yeah,
And
because as of right now, it's like, you don't even know if it's coming back,
yeah. Well, and I
which
think our
sucks.
conversation earlier was we didn't care about these characters. Like I enjoy the
Right.
stranger. The stranger, I'm invested in the stranger. Oh, Osho and May, okay. I wanted Soul to be dead so bad. I was so over
By
his
the end of it, yeah, we liked him at first.
yeah, but I was so over his whiny woe is me.
Eh.
Yeah, all that I was just I thought I was doing what was best. Wah. I was over I was
Wah.
over that. And when OSHA force choked him and
You're
killed
like,
him,
"Yeah,
that was
get him."
badass. I enjoyed that. And when she did that, though, something else I like what they did was everybody else, both May and the stranger, were both scared. You seen it in their eyes.
Yeah,
They were both terrified because they realized she's tapping into something that we can't tap into.
right.
And May was
I
always
don't think the stranger can even tap into it
no,
because he would have used it. I mean, I think he was almost as though like, "Damn, I just gave that to her as a joke. I didn't think she could actually do it." Like that assignment,
yeah.
kill a
Well, May
Jedi
was
without a
always
weapon.
like, you can never block. She doesn't need to block now. She can be full-fledged offense. And May
Yeah.
can't stop her. And what happens to the May character? I mean,
Uh,
she had her mind wiped,
she had a
and she's
mind wipe like
and
C-3PO. Oh
and,
my god, do you think she's actually this is the prequel and she's actually C-3PO? No.
no, she's an R2D2.
No, yeah, Anakin built she gets smushed down. Oh lord.
Oh, man.
Star
I
Wars.
don't know if we have anything else post-mortem to say about the show. What do you think?
Star Wars. Look, I still love Star Wars. I don't care what you think. I still love Star Wars.
I mean, honestly, I am not known for rewatching anything. I think I may revisit this
Yeah, May.
just to see if how I feel at the end. is how I felt all the way through. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people like binge watching things, and sometimes you get a different feeling binge watching something than you do if you watch it week to week.
Fair.
So I may give it. I mean, I'm not gonna sit down and binge watch this. I mean, I'll be clear there.
No, I actually want you to do that tonight. You say you're gonna watch it, then watch it.
I got House of the Dragon to watch tonight, buddy. We got breaks.
Oh yeah.
That comes.
Hey, you
want to
talk about that? Hey, let's just do a live thing where we
We're just
watch
gonna pull it up,
Oh,
watch
it's on
it
right
live
now.
with you guys.
All
HBO
right, guys,
won't
let's
care.
switch over to our. Hold on, we're gonna switch
Oh,
over to our House of the Dragon.
Is he actually gonna flip it
Hold
over?
on.
No
Where'd
way.
it go?
Oh,
Okay. All right. Welcome to the House of the Dragon show.
it's getting real now.
Just kidding. I'll change it back. Wait.
Oh, Andor.
Not that one. Okay, there we go.
Okay, guys. You know what? Go ahead and leave your comments, below. Let us know what you thought. I mean, everyone's kind of
subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, do that too.
If you haven't done that, what's the deal?
Yeah, and yeah.
What do we got to do?
I'll do backflips. I'll hurt myself. No, but I mean, I think everyone either falls on the fence of disliking it completely or defending it, even if you don't like it a ton. And I found myself on the defending it portion more than anything, right. Which is I always get irritated because I didn't think it was phenomenal. I don't feel like I need to defend the show, but when people are saying stupid crap, I'm like, I gotta kind of give a retort to your stupidness.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. I think I'm gonna stop commenting and responding to most of our stuff. If you comment on this channel here, on this video here, I'll go ahead and I'll respond to you for a while. But
yeah,
as long as it's not, stupid. And if it's real stupid, you guarantee you're gonna get it. So.
We are Dadnarok. That's Chris. I'm Sean. We do stuff like this all the dang time. We talk about shows. Right now, we're talking about, the Acolyte. I think we're done talking about that. And honestly, I don't think we're going to have the opportunity to talk anymore Acolyte because I don't think it's coming back.
I'll put a pie on it.
Oh, you want to put a pie on it?
Yeah, you can take
all
the
right,
pie.
You know what?
Back.
Season 2 gets announced. I'll take a pie to the face.
Okay, yeah. And if it doesn't come back or we hear it's canceled, I'll take the pie. We'll do it live. There we go. We are not above cheap tricks.
Come back early this week and talk to us about House of the Dragon because we'll be in episode 6 by then out of an 8 episode season.
Yes.
So things are wrapping up to a finale of season 2. Things about to get real good on that show. And then after later this month we got some other stuff coming out. I know, golly, Sandman season 2. And you and I got to talk about that.
That's good. I love that show with a passion. It's a Netflix show, and I don't know how they're releasing it. It's always hard with Netflix.
It's so tough.
And then there's also you want to do another really divisive show?
What?
Lord of the Rings show coming back in 40
Oh yeah,
days.
let's go defend that woke show. That show's so woke. Type.
This is wrong. That can't be Gandalf.
Anyway, we're just a couple of old men in the Midwest that like to talk about pop culture and their families and stuff. So, if you're into that kind of thing, kind of middle of the road, and we give you our real opinion. Look, if we don't like something, we'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
If we think something's just okay, we'll tell you why it's just okay. How it could have been better.
You're gonna know we love it. Go back and watch it,
boy. We gonna
Ted Lasso stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff there, we were gushing over. That was a fun show to do. So if you're going through Ted Lasso for the first time, go back and check out our Ted Lasso stuff. That was a fun show to do. A lot of interaction from the people that were watching. It was a blast.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Dadnarok. And until next time, what do we say?
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. See ya.